All right, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on how companies and all sorts of organizations get their messages right in front of you online. We're going to dive into the pretty fascinating world of digital influence, all based on our source material.
You know the feeling, right? You're scrolling through your feed, minding your own business, and then, boom, there it is, the perfect ad for something you were just thinking about. How do they do that? Well, it's definitely not magic, and we're about to break down exactly how it works.
So before we get into all the crazy tech, our source material reminds us that it all really comes down to one simple purpose: helping an organization get what it wants. I mean, that could be selling you a new pair of sneakers, getting you to support a cause, or just sharing a message. Everything we're about to talk about serves that one goal. Okay, so how do they pull this off? To really get a handle on the modern tools, we got to go back to basics for a second and look at the two classic building blocks of how organizations talk to us. First up, you've got media. Just think of these as the roads, the highways that information travels on. This is everything from a TV channel or a radio station to a website or your favorite social media app. It's just the where a message shows up.
And then, of course, you have advertising. So if media are the highways, then ads are the billboards you see on the side of the road. They're the actual messages that an organization pays to put out there on those media channels, all to get your attention. Simple enough, right? But hold on, because this is where everything starts to change.
What's so interesting is how our source points to this massive, massive shift in focus. I mean, the old highways are still there, for sure, but a brand new, super-powered transportation system came along and completely changed the entire map. And that, of course, is the internet. And this just lays out the difference perfectly. Traditional media was kind of like a one-way street. Someone with a megaphone shouting a message out to a big crowd. You couldn't really shout back. Internet media, though, it's a two-way conversation. It's interactive, it's instant. And we moved from talking at a huge anonymous crowd to having a direct conversation with specific people.
And here's the real kicker. This new type of media didn't just carry messages. Nope. Every single time you click something, search for something, or like a post, you're leaving behind a digital footprint. A massive, constantly growing trail of data about what you do and what you like online.
So this trail of data exists, so what? Well, this is the crucial part. It's not just that the data is there, it's what organizations have learned to do with it. This is where the second key ingredient of modern influence comes into play. And honestly, it's an absolute game changer. This brings us to something called big data analytics. It sounds super technical, but it's really just the science of sifting through all those digital breadcrumbs to find meaningful patterns. It's how organizations make sense of all that chaotic digital noise and turn it into powerful clues about what people actually want. And our source material is crystal clear on this. While traditional media and advertising still have their place, if you really want to understand how communication works today, the real focus has to be right here, at the spot where these two powerful forces meet. So let's see how this all connects back to that original goal we talked about: assisting the organization. How do these two pieces, internet media and big data, actually work together to create this powerful modern machine? Here's basically how that machine works, broken down into 4 pretty clear steps. It all starts with setting a goal. Then, instead of just buying a random TV spot, they strategically pick the specific online platforms where they know their audience is already hanging out. Now, the real magic happens in step 3, using big data to find not just any audience, but the right audience. And it doesn't stop there. They are constantly analyzing the results in real time, creating this amazing feedback loop that lets them learn, adapt, and get better and better at what they do. So if there's one thing you should take away from this explainer, it's that these two concepts are the engine driving pretty much all digital influence today. They are the reason that ad for hiking boots shows up right after you were searching for national parks. It's the powerful combo of the right channel and the right data. And that leaves us with a final and pretty important thought. As these tools for targeting us get more and more precise, it brings up some new questions, right? Questions about how all this shapes our digital world and the choices we make. If data helps find the right people, who decides what right even means? That's definitely something worth thinking about.